Power is something that most come to desire in life. A power to change the self. A power to change the current problems. A power to change the world. Though this is something that can be achieved, it can take time to get into such a position. The card we will be talking about today embodies power and to change the game, with that being Apex Devastator. For 2 green mana and 8 generic, we get a 10/10 creature with Cascade, 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 Cascade. When you cast this spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exiled cards on the bottom in a random order. Multiple instances of Cascade each trigger separately. Though Apex Devastator is a rather simple card, it should not be underestimated. When we cast him, we will essentially 5 for 1, with us not just getting a 10/10, but 4 other spells to complement. This is incredibly powerful, as even if we don't have a board state, we can immediately have one post Cascade triggers. You might be mistaken that counterspells would help in a situation where a player casts Apex Devastator, but Cascade is a cast trigger, meaning that once a player casts it, they will be cascading even post counterspell. Players can try getting around this, as the player casting Apex Devastator must cast the other spells, giving other players the opportunity to counter other incoming spells. But the table would have to have a total of 5 counterspells to stop Apex Devastator at its fullest extent. Apex Devastator fits into many different decks, but primarily wants to play in decks that can reliably ramp into him. To this extent, Stompy strategies would more than likely be best, as these types of decks already want to ramp and play big creatures. Apex Devastator also really likes to run with other Cascade strategies, as if he hits another card with Cascade, we're going to generate even more value as more and more Cascade triggers go off. Shortly said, Cascade into Cascade will spiral us out of control with essentially free value. There are quite a few cards that pair well with Apex Devastator, but to start, let's look at Kodama of the East Tree. For each permanent that we hit off the Cascade triggers, Kodama will trigger, allowing us to put another permanent of equal or lesser mana value onto the battlefield. This is quite strong, as we can essentially double the amount of value that Apex generates. The permanents off of Kodama can be anything, including lands, letting us either ramp or continue our game plan. Apex Devastator also likes cards like Beast Whisperer and Garruk's Uprising, as should we hit a creature with our Cascades, we can continuously draw and refill our hands, while also getting onboard value. In particular, Apex runs great with Garruk's Uprising, as it gives our 10/10 trample. Apex Devastator is an incredible creature that needs little help to be fantastic. It is power made over and potentially holds the key to ending many games that it is casted in. The card is a bit more on the pricey end, with it seeing steady price increases ever since it's been released. However, I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. It is nice to work on these shorter videos that I can reasonably get out in a shorter time than the other content that I'm working on. Should you like to continue to see more in the future, I'd recommend subscribing, as I'm sure we'll have plenty more to watch in the coming time. I would like to thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.